The purpose of this video is to help you understand how to use the SLO data analysis file for a single set of data. It should allow you to quickly analyze your data, that is, produce statistics and plot your data. First, I'd like to begin by showing you the data analysis file itself. So let's open the file. And inside the file, I'll draw your attention to different parts of it. First, over here, the data itself will be broken down. For example, in this case, suppose there's a rubric with 4 different levels. It'll tell you the percentage of students who achieved each rubric level. It'll also break down the data in terms of basic statistics like averages, standard deviation, and a median. And the data will be plotted below. If you like, you can also break up your data down by grade, and up here is just the grade distribution, but you can see that the data will be plotted based upon the student grade. Perhaps you suspect that students who performed better in your class did better on the SLO assessment, and this will allow you to determine whether that's the case or not. You want to make sure that you put your rubric that you use for interpreting your SLO data down here in this box at the bottom. If you look back at your data later, you'll be happy that you recorded exactly what each number meant in this particular semester, perhaps when you're doing a program review. This sheet right here, the report sheet, is the one which you'll print out for your own use when writing your SLO data report. And also, you'll probably print out a copy or make a PDF file out of this page and submit it with your final SLO report itself to show your data. Now let's go to another worksheet. Go down to the Input tab here. On the Input worksheet, you're going to put down basic information about your SLO. For example, the semester when it was taken, its name, what courses it's related to, so on and so forth. What's really important about this page is this is the page where you can input information about the data ranges. In the example SLO, there were 4 different SLO rubric levels. But maybe your rubric has 5 levels or only 3. You can change that right here to whatever fits your particular data. Maybe you have a quiz or a test, and so it has perhaps a 10-point scale, and so you'll say the highest level is a 9 or 10, and then the next level, for example, might be an 8. This is where you would change it. Over on the left-hand side is the actual numerical ranges. That's what you have to input here. And on the right-hand side is the name of the different categories. So it could just be the numerical value of the category, like category 4, or you could call it the highest level, or category 2, whatever is on your particular rubric for evaluating your data. Finally now, let's go to the data worksheet. So click on the Data tab at the bottom. And this is where you're going to simply copy and paste your data. If you wish, you could type it all in here. The most important column is the data column itself. This is where you need to put your numbers. The other columns don't matter too much. You can leave this blank pretty much if you want to. I would say for the grade category, you will want to put in some letter, and that will just get it to recognize your data. But you don't have to break down your data by student grade or other information. Now I'm going to show you an example of how to use the file. Essentially, all you need to do is to paste your data into the file. So open the file that contains your data, and then copy and paste it into the data worksheet of the data analysis file. Control copy. And now we just paste our data in. And at this point, much of the work is done. Now we need to go to the Input tab and put in information about our SLO. For example, when the data was gathered, the name of the SLO, the course or courses that it's related to, and we also need to put in our data ranges. Now, this particular SLO data only has numbers between 1 and 3, and that's because we basically ran the assessment 3 times, gave a student a rubric level between 1, 2, or 3, beginning, developing, and accomplished, as you can see above, and then averaged their score together. So I already prepared the data ranges, so I can just paste them in, but you can just type them in by hand if you prefer. And at this point, your report is done. So if you now go to the Report tab, you can see that the information you've input has been put on this page already for you. We have the grade distribution for the students and how many who were assessed, averages and other calculations of statistics on our data, the percentage breakdown of the data, and also a plot of the data broken down by grade. Don't have to do that. I'll talk about how to eliminate this if you don't want it. But in any case, you can notice in our particular class, the A students tended to do better on this assessment, as you might suspect. I think it's really important that you don't forget to put the rubric at the bottom, because if you look back at your data later, you'll want to know what these different numbers mean. So I'm going to, before I forget, put in my rubric, Control Copy. And so now my rubric will be preserved with the data itself. Now you're ready to write your SLO report. You have a bunch of data. It's broken down statistically, and hopefully you can interpret the data and perhaps learn something from the SLO process and write your SLO report. What you want to do is take the Report tab and just print it out. You can also make a PDF file of it and submit it with your SLO report as your data. One thing I promised you is that you don't have to break down your student information by grade. You don't have to record the student grade. If you don't want to, what you want to do is go back to the Data tab and then just put A for the grade. Wouldn't it be great if all your students just got A's? So we'll put A in for every student. And then if we go back to the Report tab, then you notice we just have black bars everywhere. Since we don't want to think of this as a grade, you'll want to delete the legend, and you'll probably want to go over here and also delete this area of the sheet as well. So that way you don't think everything is broken down by grade or something like that. Okay, you're done. That's all you have to do if you don't want to record grade data as well.